Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Before we start, raise your hand if you have no idea who we are and you're just here because you're interested. Okay,
Nice.
That's good.
110% of you. That's great.
You know, I spent like 4 hours thinking up the title to this panel.
He is not shut up about how awesome the title is.
I love the title, Passion to Paycheck. It's a fantastic title, it really is. Let's introduce ourselves.
I thought of that, guys. I totally thought of that.
I mean, I spent 4 hours on it. Like, obviously, I'm going to brag about it.
Speaking of clever slogans, I saw a fuck waffle T-shirt today.
That was
Are
nice.
we
and
allowed
I
to
want one.
Hashtag,
I want one.
Are we allowed to say that?
on my
stream, you know.
on my last panel? Like,
I actually don't know the rules for this. Okay, I don't know.
It's the title. It's nothing ambiguous.
until the Twitch cops
Basically, until they tell us no, we're gonna do
Maybe we could get
it.
Twitch to ban their own channel right now.
This is not how you go from passion to paycheck, by the way.
Yeah, this is not how you get a paycheck from
Yeah,
Twitch.
it's not.
This is quite
Oh,
the
by the way,
opposite.
we totally have chat up on our phones right
do.
now.
Hi, chat.
And it's mostly rude things about waffle.
Yeah, well,
Which
it's
is
all right.
the most of the company.
And a lot of Dan's
And
game.
my face.
So we are N3RDFUSION. We're a company based out of Seattle, and I'm Matt, and we'll just go down the line.
Bacon donut.
I'm Dan, Dan's Gaming on Twitch.
Andrew, giant waffle.
The way you said that, it was like
That one
Andrew
large-
Giant
it was
is your
a-
middle name, Waffle
yes.
is your
Yes.
last name.
That is my name. Dude, legally...
We should do
Giant.
that.
is my middle
Legally,
name.
we're going to get Bacon's name changed to Bacon. Like, we're thinking about it actually pretty hardcore.
Look, no,
We should do
no
that.
joke. We had a absolute 100% serious conversation about some sort of charity drive. Like if we raise a certain amount for charity, that I legally go to a courthouse and change my name to Bacon Donut.
I've talked to lawyers about this already. So yeah, it will get done.
No promises yet, but we have talked about it in a completely serious way.
Just for like 10 years. Like what if we just did it for 10 years?
Yeah, just
That's good.
you know.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Bacon's name change. We're here to talk about N3RDFUSION and sort of how it came about. So I think what we'll do is we'll start real quick with like personal stories about how we started on, well, some of us JTV and some of us Twitch, up until we went full-time casting. And since Dan started before I did, he can go first.
Oh God, I wasn't ready. All right. I'm Dan's Gaming. I started on Justin TV back in 2009, so it's been over 6 years now. I started, I watched a streamer called Katrina. She streamed a lot of WoW, and at first I had no interest in streaming, and then she had a guide on the bottom of her channel about how to broadcast using Flash Media Encoder. Remember
That thing sucks.
Dude, those days.
Yeah, and so I tried it out, and I didn't like streaming at first. I thought it was dumb, and I quit after like a week. And then like 2 months later, I came back, and then I started streaming for 6 solid years. And I've always been a variety streamer, and probably about 2 years ago was the time that I started before there was a partner program at all. Like they asked me to be a part of it when it happened. Then about 2 years ago, finally the numbers were adding up to where I could meet my bills and still meet my bills with Twitch alone. And that was the tipping point of when I could go full time. And that is the only time someone should go full time is when you are making enough to pay for your bills.
Already.
Yes.
Already doing so.
Yeah, I see so many people that worry me that just go in leaping without having money from Twitch, saying they're going to do full time without actually being at that point yet.
Before they're actually there.
Yeah. And then over the past 2 years, since I went full time, I've seen this big growth in my channel, and eventually I caught the attention of Sevs over here, and he pitched me the N3RDFUSION idea about us coming together and creating a company, and I signed on.
Did I pitch it to you last of all of us?
I think
I
so.
think so.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I think I was the last.
It was one of you two that
I
was
think because
last.
Dan came to
Because you
me.
three are Minecraft, you already knew each other pretty well.
Yeah, but I
and-
still think that I was the last one because you came to me like, Sev wants to talk to you about something. I was like, okay, and then it ended up being the most important thing in my life. So.
Aww.
I know.
It's amazing. It's really touching.
Can we get some hearts in chat?
Frank or Z holding a heart.
So I was next
Yeah.
to come down this gauntlet, And I started in 2010 with a different username, and then I switched over to Sevs in 2011 after they formed Twitch. Basically, I didn't want to broadcast video games.
1 second, that reminds me of my original screen name. It wasn't Dan's Gaming. It was Wizard D52986.
The fact that
Yes.
you remember that.
Wait.
I had that. That was the first name change on Justin TV ever as
5298.
well.
Was that your zip code? Like,
That was my birthday.
oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so oh my God, chat is really distracting right now.
I noticed that.
Usually I
Said
can
the
like
full-time
talk it. Yeah,
broadcaster.
usually I can talk and look at chat, but it's incredibly distracting. Yeah, so I started off in 2010 under a different username, and I switched over to Sevs in 2011. It took me that long just to find the name. So I guess 4 hours of Passion to Paycheck was pretty good.
Yeah.
For how long it took me to
Wasn't-
find that name.
Wasn't
Getting
Sevs
better.
just like a random thing?
It was. I just
We named
randomly thought of it
generators.
last night.
One, yeah.
No, not last night, but the night before,
Yeah.
like I made it. I just randomly thought of it. Like
That's what I
just
remember you
like-
telling. Like, you had
And
no
for
story.
the record, he lies about everything, and I've heard him tell this story like 6 times, and it's different every time. So just throwing that out there.
Wait, the story I'm about to tell?
No, about how you found Sevs.
Wait, what? Oh,
Like every time
well.
people ask him that, and then he like.
Well, that's
I've heard,
different.
I've heard so
That's-
many versions of that story.
I mean, the fact that the tiger that almost killed me was
Right.
named
And,
Sevs had
yeah.
nothing to do with it. All right, so yeah, so I started off in 2011 I sort of became a full-time Minecraft broadcaster, and back then it was slim pickings when it came to Minecraft.
like 2 casters.
There were a few of us. Shout outs to people like Cilantro who paved the way. And it was just, and Tate and that whole Keppa group. Basically, yeah, there was a bunch of small broadcasters that casted Minecraft, and I was like, we got to do something about this because Minecraft should be way bigger than this. And so I was on an adventure to just make Minecraft massive on Twitch. I didn't care who was streaming it, I just wanted it to be really big. And so I would like cold email like the biggest channels at the time, which were like, 5,000 or 6,000 people, which was just massive to me. And I would like cold email, would you please like to try out Minecraft one day?
pull
and,
viewers in.
and I would try to, I would go onto YouTubers and then like in their comments, I'd be like, hey, you should come stream on Twitch. And eventually it got traction and people did start streaming and we all kind of grew up together. And that was sort of how Minecraft grew on Twitch.
Yeah, and people started calling him Papa Sev because he's kind of OG for the
That's a
category.
different reason, actually.
Yeah,
But
and then
I
I got my sub button in early.
By people, I mean me. I coined that in Minecon 2013.
Yeah, that was you. And then they wrote it on
During
my
our
back. Like somebody wrote it, like Lancey or somebody just wrote it across
he
my
made
back.
a sign, he like a tape and paper, and put it on your.
Great. Anyway,
Anyway,
we should not call me that.
I know.
I think.
thank you.
I'm not a
Hashtag
father.
Papa Sev in the chat.
So then I got my sub button in late 2011, I believe. It was one of the first things again. And yeah, ever since then, it's sort of been a growth for me. I wouldn't have ever considered myself full-time until about like 4 months ago when I finished school because I have other things going on. So I don't know if that's full-time, but I could have made a full-time, move out of it about 2 years ago. And we'll talk about after full-time how we made this thing in a minute, but I want to hear from these two.
Bacon, did you start before me or after me?
I mean, I registered. I just found, I just randomly happened to look in the Twitch API about my channel data and saw that I registered bacon_donut on September 13th, 2012. So
Okay.
that's I just
Well, you
hit
registered
my-
Giant Waffle a long time before you started broadcasting.
Like, I watched Tally. Like, basically, the way I started on Twitch is by watching Tally and Sevs, and that was
Yeah.
basically it. And for a good, solid 6 to 8 months, I didn't even know I wanted to stream. I just liked watching them a lot. So I kind of got into this, this trend of watching streams every single day, and I never wanted to do it. And then one day, I think it was Tally made a YouTube video, how to stream, and I was like, okay. So I tried it. I got, XSplit, and then I got my webcam and everything, and I don't even remember what game I played. I'm pretty sure I played World of Warcraft.
Or
and
StarCraft.
It might have
It
been.
would have been one of the two.
Yeah. So, and it was awful. It was awful. And then it continued to be awful for 6 months, and just watching my favorite streamers and kind of pulling things they did, and it slowly got a start. Then I kind of found the game Minecraft from Sev, and that's really when I think I took off, because once you find a game that you enjoy streaming, people enjoy watching you play that game, it becomes a lot of fun. So I started doing Minecraft, and then it kind of slowly built off that for, I'd say, about a 6 month period, and then I found Lyric and Tally, Lyric was a viewer of Tally, and so was I. So Lyric and I talked, this is before we even streamed, and ended up actually, we hung out a lot, and we ended up playing a lot of games together. So then we started playing games together as well. That's kind of how like the night stream started. That kind of adapted to my normal Minecraft streams, and those two combined kind of drove me all the way through college. So about a year or so of streaming afterwards. And then that's when I said I went full time, I guess, because right around that area, I got my sub button. I got, I was partnered, then I got my sub button. Now they're kind of combined, but it used to be you got partnered, which got you like ads, and then to get the sub button, you had to get like way more viewers. Like it was insane. So I got that way after that. But then once I got the sub program, that really is what kind of kicked it up. After maybe 6 months after getting my sub button, I was able to start paying my rent, which was like $400 a month. So it was like nothing, but I was able to afford that. And I said, pretty much, I was in college. I think Sev was, what year in college were you?
When what?
When you could have gone full time.
5th year of grad school.
Okay. I think my second year is when I could have gone full time, but I stuck with college as like, because really wasn't a lot. Like if your rent is like $400 and you're only making $600, then you only have $200 for food and bills and internet. So I was like, not really the smartest idea. So I kept with college for as long as I felt I needed to, and then I felt really secure with the whole Twitch thing, and I ended up going full time. I would say my senior year of college is when I went full time. And then I guess that's shortly after the N3RDFUSION thing. Like after going full time, N3RDFUSION happened. So then I kind of went right into that.
Yeah, so like Waffle, I had a JTV account that, I watched a lot of streams before I ever actually started broadcasting. I first came to Twitch mainly because I loved StarCraft and I was watching tournaments and stuff, and then I was watching the pro player stream, and I've always been a performer. Like I love being in front of a crowd. I love public speaking. I'm one of those sick people that actually likes this kind of thing. So it was only a matter of time before like watching
Feed
Twitch.
his ego.
Isn't that weird though? Like most of us are really socially introverted that stream. Like I sit in the back of my class.
And in no way mean to imply that is somehow like a key to success or something. Like no, like plenty like. This guy here is pretty outgoing, but you might be surprised to know that I'm
a little shaky right now.
He's a little shy. He's kind of nervous right now.
This is Dan's first panel.
I'm just the only
It's
point.
your first panel ever?
Yes, ever.
Yeah. And you're doing very well, Dan.
Kappa /
As always.
Anyway, the only point that I'm making there is that watching Twitch, because I love performing, it scratched that itch. I'm like, I've got to try this, at the time that I finally decided to try it, I was addicted to Minecraft, and so that's what I streamed. And my first stream was a half-hour stream of just like a tour of a build that I had done in Minecraft, and 0 people showed up. And that has since been lost to the sands of time. It doesn't exist anymore. But
I wish Sev is the only one who has all his old broadcasts. He's missing the first day ever, which pisses him off, and please remind him of that.
Yeah,
but he has the VOD
it haunts him
of every single stream, and I really want to go back and look at it because it's just ridiculous. I used
After
to wear my
first
hair like
stream,
this,
I
look like
started
Hotshot
recording them
GG.
all.
And then like over the years,
It goes a little bit more up now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just does things. It's got a mind.
Anyway, so I streamed off and on throughout late 2012, and January 1st, 2013 is when it became like solid hobby, right? So I was casting like all the time. And at the time, I was working as a web developer, and it was totally just my release. Like, I was not at all thinking this was going to somehow make money or something. Like, I just hated my job. I didn't want to think about the fact that I had to go to work tomorrow, and so I'd stay up streaming, and because I used to stay up gaming for the same reason, and so I was just staying up streaming. And fast forward throughout later that year, eventually I lost my job, and the community rose up and basically demanded that I be a Twitch streamer, and made sure that my bills were paid and everything. And that was 2 years ago, and so yeah. And then the first time I ever talked to this guy was leading up to Minecon 2013, and the very first conversation that we had was him explaining the concept for N3RDFUSION. And basically what he said to me was, how do we take this hobby that we love and turn it into a career, right? What's the difference between those things? Like a career has health insurance, a career has a 401k, and a career has stability to it. And husband, father, homeowner, right? Trying to suddenly have this unstable income, like that spoke my language. I'm like, I'm extremely interested in this. Tell me more. And so that was several years. So he's been planning this whole thing for like 3 years now, and then we finally sealed the official deal on it on March 1st of this year, and that's when N3RDFUSION was officially born. And
Yeah, I was really nervous. So I was in a position where I got out of college, I was in grad school, and as I completed my graduate work, I realized that I really like streaming, but I've got this like amazing job that's just like pre-planned at that point, right? Yeah, it's still competitive and it's still hard to get, but it's not like it's impossible. And so I could do the normal, graduate, PhD, then get your postdoc, then go teach at college and just be given everything, right? You've got your 401k, you've got your health insurance, you've got all that stuff. And basically I was really nervous because I was like, God, but I really like streaming like more. And the only way I convinced myself that I would be able to broadcast is if I found a way to make broadcasting as like a career as good, if not better, as being an astrophysicist.
so that's the bar.
That sounds
the
really
bar.
weird to say. Yeah, it's better than
An
astrophysics,
astrophysicist
apparently.
with a job already living in Hawaii.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yes, where a gallon of milk is like $11 or something.
It's expensive. It's horrible.
Are you saying that playing video games is more fun than astrophysics?
Not always, but sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have more fun.
Shocker.
That's not a. You know what? Don't knock it till you try it. How's
No,
that?
I do not math.
So yeah, that was basically my thing. I was like, okay, I got to find a way to make this into a career that will be as successful, if not more successful, than sort of the astrophysicist track. And yeah, that's when I started pinging people. Like, actually, the first person I pinged was Pause, and I was like, Pause, let's just. My first ditch, just initial reaction was, Pause, let's make a YouTube channel together. That'll do it. And
so sad. There's a mic for Pause, but he's not
and
here.
yeah, Pause isn't here.
He's having his baby
having
right now.
There.
Yeah. Pause is
having a
wife's
little
having
pause.
a baby.
So yeah, I was, and then we decided it was a horrible idea.
And for those who don't know who we're talking about, it's twitch.tv/pauseunpause.
Yeah, and he's sort of our big YouTuber.
Yeah.
And we were friends for a very long time before that, and so I kept bouncing ideas off of him. And he's like, yeah, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. But I could tell he was just saying that to make me happy, and like he did not like approve. And so then I started to formulate the master plan that would eventually become N3RDFUSION, and slowly but surely found the 4 suckers who would follow me into oblivion, and then we were
Wait, what?
born. Yeah. What?
What?
I don't know what you
Yeah.
said.
Okay. So that happened. Thanks for making it awkward.
Suckers?
Suckers. Suckers. Yeah. What little they know. And then yeah, we started up N3RDFUSION. It started in March. Actually, Dan, this is a fun story.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should bring this up, even though we probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Dan was really, really, really drunk one night.
Oh, God.
Okay, I know.
I would
know.
never.
day was
I
fun.
would never.
On stream.
It was a subscriber event. He was taking a drink for every sub that he got.
And
No. He was not taking drinks or subs. He was celebrating the idea of getting a sub.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
I
you're
would
not allowed
never.
to do that big.
That was
couldn't.
before that change of clarification
Yeah.
policy happened.
And I was a little excited about N3RDFUSION, and I was a little drunk, and
But we
I
couldn't
almost
talk about it yet because it hadn't been publicly announced.
and I almost spilled the beans like 3 or 4 times.
It was the most stressful broadcast I have ever watched, because we were like announcing it the next week, because we had to have the T-shirts ready and like everything was planned out for this big launch,
Timed
and the podcast,
there's
everything
a whole
else was
Twitter
just,
campaign and
yeah,
whole
it was all
thing.
planned out, and then Dan is
Guys, I'm
just
so
drunk
excited.
one night,
Next
and
week,
he's
we
so
have
excited.
this really big thing with me and 4 other big
Yeah,
people.
me and
on.
4
It's
other
like,
people next week. I'm like, what? You know, I just like exploded, and nobody caught on to it. At least, well, maybe they did. I don't know, but like I convinced myself that nobody caught on to it.
He was seriously contemplating calling a Twitch admin and getting him to shut down Dan's channel for the night.
I was very serious about it. I'm like, yeah, I was about to like. A lot of people at Twitch knew that we were doing it, and I was about to
wanted
contact.
us to spill the beans too. Like they kept.
They did. And yeah, oh, actually,
Freaking
but right
Jordan,
before that, it was PAX
South.
PAX South.
They put us on a panel at
Yeah.
on the stage at PAX South, me and Dan. They're like, talk about this big thing you're doing, and Dan had to like make something up. So we're like, we're moving in together. That's the big announcement, because we can't say anything.
Kappa Pride.
Yeah, I know.
Which was true. It was true, right? Like,
Yeah, that is true.
that
we
was
were
the
moving
thing.
in,
That
but
happened.
yeah, we were all ambiguously moving to Seattle at the same exact time, and no one connected the dots yet. which
Nobody
was-
at least told us that they had connected the
Yeah.
dots.
I'm sure
Some people
someone
might
did.
have done it.
There was definitely like, all of you have a hashtag Friday announcement coming up. Like, what is this
Well,
about?
at that point, that was the point, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The Friday announcement thing. So, yeah, and that's how sort of Nerd Fusion
Yeah,
got
so
going.
fast forward today, we work together out of a shared workspace that we call the Nerd Fusion Studio. We're based out of Seattle.
You didn't say office. That was good. We get yelled at every time we
he,
say the word
he
office.
whips us every time we say office because it's a studio.
It's our studio. It's not our office. I mean, I guess it is, but it's cooler to say studio. Let's face it.
It's true.
Right?
It's true.
But that only took me an hour to think of.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's only one word. Yeah, and so we're basically full-time broadcasting and producing from a studio in Seattle, and it's a lot of fun. It is allowing us to do things that I don't even think, like we had all these crazy ideas leading up to it, like, oh, we're gonna do this and this and this, and then so many other things just popped up because we were in the same space
Right.
together at the same time doing things. And it's only getting, more and more ridiculous kind of
Yeah.
as we go along. And we're not gonna spill the beans on this stuff.
Our collab will start picking up speed during Horror Month, which starts in October.
Oh,
We had a-
Familiar with
Horror
that?
month.
Yeah.
I'm not
We
excited
had-
for that.
We had a meeting, we
Yeah.
had a meeting a few days ago to discuss these panels, and Dan was like, "We have got to talk about Horror Month.
Yeah, I know.
We've got to
Yeah.
get that publicity out there."
It's like, I don't have to do all this by myself anymore. You know?
Yeah, this is going to be 6 years of Horror Month,
Yeah, the 6th
and
year.
this time we're going all out. I think we can say that we're going all out. and
All
it's
of us
gonna
will.
be-
All of us will be involved.
Waffle and I are
no,
not going to be
I don't know
involved.
about that.
No, they're lying.
I'm not excited.
These two are complete pansies when it comes to scary
Okay,
games.
listen,
and
just
we
because
are
I don't like
going
scary
to scare the
games-
crap out of them.
And
It's
pansies
gonna
are
be
nice
amazing.
flowers anyway.
Oh, and I get this question a lot. Past Dan will be returning this, so it's not going away.
Past
So it's
Dan?
like Past Dan, yes.
That's the rerun.
Recordings.
reruns.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Horror Month will be fun and exciting stuff, and it's sort of a good chance for us to do a lot of collaborating and
Yeah.
a lot of things like that that we're excited to do as the studio is now finally getting finished and stuff like that. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
So we skipped a really large portion of Nerd Fusion.
Did we?
I think like the behind the scenes thing leading up from like when we all went full time to like we're moving or like this is Nerd Fusion. That like
Yeah, what was
year,
that like?
That was like a year and a half of like planning stuff. Like back before when we were gonna call it, what was the name? Omega or something?
No. What
Oh,
was
like,
there was a
we-
lot
the
of
name
there was a
for
terrible
took
name.
us
Like
a
you think
while.
he stresses a lot about panel names, but it was weeks of him going, "Hey guys, how about this
Yeah.
terrible name?" Like
It was
no,
awful.
no, that's a terrible
started with
name.
an
So,
O.
okay,
Oh,
fine. And then he come back with another.
It wasn't like
Sevs
Oreo.
and I sat for like 4 or 5 hours hammering out the name last minute.
We did.
I wanted the word nerd, and you wanted some stupid word that started with an O. I don't remember what it was.
something weird.
It was like
word number-
Oleo.
Oleo.
It might have been
yes.
Oleo.
Oleo, and I was just like,
Yeah,
what
that was
the
what the
hell
name-
are you thinking?
I mean, basically, I was just on a thesaurus looking up words for like groups of stuff, and yeah, we wanted something nerdy, and we kept saying the word nerdy so many times that it was just like, well, why don't we use the word nerd?
Eventually, the word fusion came
And
up.
then we decided-
combined it.
because 5 communities coming together, fusing together.
And then we were like, it's not nerdy enough. Let's turn the E into a 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
And that's where the problems came up with copywriting that, right? Because you couldn't copyright a letter as a number.
I don't remember.
I remember you complaining for
I
a
remember
while
I
about
had
that.
a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Just
it
because
was
that 3
it was
worth
it
it.
was a lot of work, but it was
Lots of
worth
meetings with lawyers that the rest of us didn't have to go to because he does all that.
it. Yeah, you're welcome.
No, that's one of the biggest things. The fact that, like, I guess the biggest thing that's taken this from passion to paycheck, like, has been amazing, is I don't have to worry about doing my taxes. I don't have to worry about doing anything behind the scenes when it comes to, like most stuff is taken care of by Matt, and then we just do content development, which is what the idea of the whole company is. It takes all that stuff you don't need to worry about and you don't need to think about, or I guess you should, but it makes a lot less than, like, what most streamers have to deal with now. Because when taxes come up, oh my God, those are ridiculous. And now we're gonna get, like, a tax return and everything. It's way easier. So, like, it's probably one of the biggest advantages is just actually being in the company, is just being with Matt and having him do everything for us. And then we just sit here.
Throw him under the bus.
And when he suggests that we do something, I just say we need to just get an intern for that.
Yeah. People jump at that.
You can't move a box, like, really? Yeah, so, yeah, it's a big headache, but I think what we want to do now is sort of, we're not necessarily recommending that this is the track you take. This is the only track to make a career out of broadcasting.
Absolutely.
And I think we want to speak to sort of some points as to, you know, what to do from the very beginning if you're interested in potentially pursuing this as kind of a career. And then sort of as you move up, what kinds of things we did that worked and what kinds of things we did that didn't work. Who wants to start at the beginning?
I have a tip for small streamers is keep your expectations realistic. No one goes from 0 viewers to thousands in a year or 2 years unless you have very special circumstances.
Some people do, but some people
Yes.
also win the lottery, so, like...
Yes. But yeah, like, keep your expectations in line. I streamed at less than 100 viewers for over a year, less than 1,000 for 3 years.
Oh God, do you remember the start
Yeah.
of your stream? 6 months, I had 10 viewers, and I don't remember those 6 months of streaming. But, like, every single day I'd stream for like 3 hours, and I don't remember doing that.
I started streaming illegal movies on Justin TV. That was I'm sorry, that's the secret. Sorry, no.
I did not know that.
Matt's gonna have fun with this one tonight.
Oh my God. Why would
You'll
you
see
admit
his
that
phone
on a
ring in like
live
10
stream?
minutes
I
and a lawyer.
stopped. Eventually.
At least you weren't part of this company back then, so when they come knocking on your door tomorrow.
The biggest thing I learned is don't admit to illegal things on panels. That really isn't a good idea.
That's the biggest. Yeah, that's the biggest
Yeah.
piece of advice.
No, I guess the biggest thing, not like the realistic expectations is good, but Twitch is all about interactivity, and if you're not willing to do that, which some broadcasters, I realize at the start of it, it's hard and not as easy as you want to talk to people, especially when people aren't there to talk to. You still have to try as hard as you can to talk to the few people that are there to begin with, because that will start to flow into more and more people. I remember back when I had 50 viewers and talking to them, it was all very personal. You knew everyone's name, they would all come in there all the time, and it was very, I guess personal would be the word I would use to describe it. And then as you get bigger and bigger, you kind of lose that, and sometimes it feels awkward, because once you do go from like 50 viewers to like 200 and 250, it gets to the point where it becomes more of like a family, it becomes more of like an idea mob, and it's just, you lose that personality touch to it, especially when you go to like thousands and thousands. So the interactivity is important, you have to keep that up as much as possible, and I think the big streamers have the best interactivity on Twitch, and that's like their secret, because that's what Twitch is. It's all about being interactive.
Or you can just be really, really good at an esport.
Yeah, that's true.
could be
And
really
then you
good.
never have to look at chat the entire
Yeah.
time.
But is that
Nothing
really
wrong with
is
that.
it really stable in the future? Sometimes there's going to be somebody that's better than you in like a few years, right? There has to be. Surely. Maybe not. No.
I feel personally that the ceiling, audience-wise, is higher for entertainment than for sport, because if it was the other way around, sports would be the predominant entertainment on television. But it's not.
Okay.
Like, entertainment is what you mostly see.
What's
There's
TV?
also sports.
What's TV?
I
don't
know.
subscribe to that.
I'm an old man, so I remember this stuff.
Okay.
Back when there was.
So we basically want to spend a lot of time with you guys out there and on virtual love space. That's not.
.com.
If that doesn't exist, we should buy
Grab
that.
that right now. Redirect to NerdFusion.
Yeah. So if you guys want to, there's
There's a microphone right here.
in
I
the middle.
especially would love to talk to people that have no idea.
Yeah,
who
we
they are.
we kind of want to answer a lot of questions and whatnot about how we got to where we are, or how you're getting to where you're getting. We're very interested in you guys. A lot of the reason that we're here is because we are interested in talking to smaller broadcasters and just seeing what's up in the community and that kind of stuff.
While people are lining up, I just wanted to echo what Dan said. Like, don't try to push it, right? Like, you should love streaming first and foremost. And like, if you're just like, I always wanted to be self-employed, and I was in the out in the business world for 13 years working for other people.
This is awkward.
And I always wanted to be self-employed, and I failed at becoming self-employed a lot until this. So don't rush it. Is what I'm trying to say.
But you're not self-employed now. Does that mean you're like?
I guess that's, you're not self-employed.
I mean, Captain Legal over here. Jeez. All right, go ahead.
Hello, thanks for doing the panel. I'm actually a game developer, and I've noticed that some gamers play my game on Twitch and such, so, through Twitter and everything. I wanted to know, how do I support broadcasters, whether they're professionals or amateurs? As a developer, how do I support these people so they can keep twitching?
I think the most important thing for us, honestly, we are very good at, especially like indie devs and stuff like that. We play a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
And the big thing for us is, this is going to sound weird.
Yep.
Make a good game, and we'll play it. Like, seriously, we go through a lot of games that we get codes for and all this other stuff, and that's good. We really like that, that you give us codes. We could buy it, but getting codes is good because that means you're showing initiative that you want for us to, at least look at it. And we do. I think I look at every code that I'm given, at least.
I try to,
a little
but
bit.
a lot with round packs.
It's kind of hard because games are coming out at a faster rate than they ever have in history. So it's
true.
hard. It's hard to stand out to get our attention because we're getting bombarded constantly. Like, we may not look at your game, but we may have gotten 20 other emails from other people, and we picked one of the 20 because they're coming out at such a fast pace.
Yeah. Email format is like the most important thing for me because all the emails I get for games are in all caps, and it's like, play our game right now, and it's like, I don't want to play your game.
No, I think
Right
you're
now.
doing a good thing by being here. And I think more devs should do what you're doing and be here and connect with the broadcasters that are here, both large and small. Small broadcasters, like I remember when I was small, if I got a game code,
jump at anything.
oh my
That's
God.
like
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, I was just going crazy.
And icing on that is if you got 2 or 3, so you could do giveaways in chat. It would be like, that's like the best
Oh
thing
yeah,
ever.
giveaways. Oh man, I remember that. I would get a code and then I'd email back like, can I get another one to give it away? And they're like, actually no. And I was like, oh man, that sucks.
Another thing that's huge, it's very common for streamers to play a game and then while streaming it, find a problem. Bugs or crashes or whatever, and like that can end up making that game company look bad. But if the game company hears our feedback, fixes it, like say, I see you're having a problem, let's see what we can do, and then they come back to us and say, we fixed that, try it again, like then it becomes this amazing, like, wow, they actually listen, or they care, and they're improving things, and so that's another thing developers to actually, take the time to listen to our feedback is big.
I'm very glad, by the way, that you're on brand today. I just noticed that.
I didn't think about that, actually.
And I am the only one.
I'm just saying I'm proud of you.
I'm waiting for him to have a Neffy under that plaid and just be like,
The amount of, how much plaid do you own, by the
I
way?
have Minecraft under this because we had a panel today. Anyway,
How much plaid do you own? Because I only see you in plaid.
I like a
you-
lot of plaid.
You like a lot of plaid.
I've been in Texas for a while. Okay, sorry.
Hi, I'm Darth LeBay. I just started streaming a little while ago. I was wondering if you guys take vacations, and if you take them, do you try and make them short? How do you do that to come back to your strong stream that you left?
Dan does not take vacations.
I don't take vacations because as a variety streamer, when you constantly switch games, you lose your audience each time, a lot of time. So I find constantly being there reminds people that I exist, even if I'm playing a game they don't like, because it becomes more about the streamer than the game. So as for me, I don't take vacations specifically because I'm a variety streamer, and it's harder to be a variety streamer than a single game streamer.
For me, this is vacation.
Yeah.
So I
would
think
call-
this is kind of for all of
yeah.
us.
all of us treat it's common for us to come to a panel or a con like this and take an extra day or two before or after to kind of,
Yeah,
Because we have
that's
to
true.
not cast usually to come here, and so so we have a break from casting, but we can still, feel like we're accomplishing things.
The thing is, like, we all work 7 days a week and for long hours, and yeah, that's a certain level of dedication, but it doesn't work for everybody. And there are plenty of examples of people that just their better streams are after they have a weekend off, and they have that time to themselves.
That's me 100%. Like in the beginning, the first year of
Oh,
being
yeah, you don't
full-time.
cast every day, do you?
No, I mean I work every day. I just don't cast,
cast
every
every
day.
day,
Year one of being full time, I made a conscious decision. This is growth. This year is growth. So I'm just going to attack it with everything I have. And I was like 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and drove myself crazy doing it. And then got to a point where I was more stable, and then started dialing it back. Started taking weekends off, and I discovered beyond any doubt that I quite literally was better at my job when I took at least one day off. And I feel like as a caster, there's nothing more important than finding balance between real life stuff and stream life stuff. You got to keep that in balance. And how you do that, like how much time you need to accomplish that, is different for everybody, right? Like Dan can be just a workhorse and stream every day and
know
still
how
be
he does
awesome.
I just got rid of my life, so I don't have to worry about
All
it.
right, that's perfect. And but that's going to be different for everybody. But you have to in making that choice. How much time off do you take? Do you take vacations, whatever? It's super important to keep that balance. And if you don't, you get burnt out, and then your stream will suffer. And so.
In the end, though, do what you want and make your stream that. Like, if you want to only stream 2 days a week, it's cool. Make it that. You're going to grow differently than other people, but that's your stream, and it's your choice. That being said, the overwork thing happens a lot. Like, you get burnt out. Like, you'll be like, I just streamed for 60 days in a row without taking a day off, and you don't realize it, and it hurts. So then you end up, like, taking a lot of time off.
If you're streaming for fun, 2 days a week is fine. But if you're streaming to grow, 2 days is not enough.
Back when I started and I was in
Yeah.
in high school and like early college, I whenever I had free time not doing homework and like doing college stuff, I would, I guess, stream, and that kind of evolved into more and more and more because you start seeing that growth happen because the more you stream, the more you grow, and that becomes addictive, and then you just keep growing and growing. So you're like, all right, now I'm streaming 7 days a week, and that's how it kind of evolves into a full-time thing.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? I'm Inventor Blades. I'm a smaller streamer, and I've been on Twitch for I'm going on 4 years now. A lot of the stuff that I see you guys saying up there is 100%. Dan, I want to touch on a few things here, and this is going to be towards, I guess, Dan and Waffle. Dan, you said that it's if you can only make the transition to gaming and to go full time when you're ready. As for me, I quit everything my whole life. So you're 100% right. You have to be able to make that transition to go full time. And then, so it's been really hard. And what you just said right there, when you said, hold on, so sorry.
Like basically, so you can pay your bills
No.
before you stop.
Yeah, but not just that. What he was saying that if you're doing it for fun, 2 days is fine. But let me tell you, Dan, you are 100% on the money, man. If you want to do this full time and you want to grow it, you want to build your foundation, you've got to put in the grind. You got to work really hard if you want it. And so I see everything that you guys are saying, and it's 100% accurate. Now, the question that I want to ask you, Giant, I'm at the stage right now. Oh, wait, one more thing really quick. I'm so sorry. You had said, I've been streaming for, I said, almost 4 years, and you had spoken about when you first get your partnership back in the day,
Yeah.
you would be tier 1, you'd get the advertisements.
Yeah, I think it was 200 viewers, something like that. They would put you in the partner
Right.
program.
And then you would have to wait a certain amount of time.
Yeah, to get 1,000+ viewers
Exactly,
to get your sub button.
to get your sub button. But I wanted to just just touch that a little bit and say that now, if you get partnered, it's a little bit easier to get that sub button, so
They combined them now. Partnership is a sub button.
so
I
that's
think.
definitely a good thing, So now if you get partnered, you're getting a subscribe button. That's a big deal. So I just wanted, because, I figured that that's a plus now.
Twitch has helped growth a lot. That's something
Yeah.
that they've helped discovery and growth the smaller channels quite a bit. And getting that sub button really can push you to accelerate your career a lot faster, and that's awesome on Twitch's end. And Twitch is always working harder and harder to help you so you can
Absolutely.
have that early on growth and help. Because Twitch wants successful broadcasters, because that makes Twitch successful. So they're going to try to help you as much as possible.
Absolutely.
And they always are constantly asking at conventions. All the staff and everything are always asking us how they could improve. So.
And the last thing that I wanted to ask you is all right, so I'm at the point where you had said when the channel is small, you got 50, 70, 80 viewers. It's very well, it's like a tight-knit community, and you know everybody by name, where they're from, this, that, and the other thing. So when I start streaming, I might get 50, 60, 70. It might climb up, it varies. Everybody that streams knows that the viewership is always going to fluctuate. It does not matter if you have 100 viewers or if you have 10,000. That's just the way it is. The fluctuation is just different. So I'm at that point. And so I was playing Metal Gear Solid, and my numbers went up to 250-ish, 250, and that's where they stayed. And I was experiencing what you were saying. I was looking in the chat, and I was like, man, these are all new people. I don't, so how... My question, I guess, is how can you kind of retain that so you don't lose that sense of, tight-knit community that you had when there was 50 or 100 people? Because I don't want to lose that, So that's where I'm at right now.
You're experiencing a temporary bubble, which is a new release. It's always a huge boost,
It's a good
no
tactic,
matter
though.
who you are.
Yeah.
You can get up to triple your normal viewers. Once you switch out of that game, though, they're going to go away again. But what you can hope for at best is to have retained some of those new people to become part of your new audience. And you got to keep building on that.
And that's
Watch,
the foundation.
rinse, repeat.
And in addition, if you're doing something for 4 years and it's not being where you want, then you have to start experimenting with new things. Like for me, it was Horror Month, and that has been a huge boost to me. It's something to stand out and make you unique, because there's a very big audience, a lot of streamers now, as they showed during the keynote, thousands. So try experimenting and try standing out amongst the crowd as best you can.
Thank you so much, guys.
Hey guys, thanks a lot. I have kind of a two-part thing. The first, my lizard brain has a closed mindset, and it says, man, there's no more room to grow as a streamer. I'm just getting started, and it's well, the ship has sailed. So I'd love to hear a little bit on what you guys think about that. And the second question I have is, that goose egg when you're starting, just 0, and that's really intimidating. And you can wait, maybe some folks wander in, and they're like, hey, I like what this guy's doing, talking to himself, maybe I'll hang around. But there's got to be some things you can do to also be a bit more proactive about it. So I'd love to hear you talk about that as well.
That's a great question.
So for me, this is actually pretty much what I did, right? I started off with with the whole Minecraft being 0 at points in time, right? There's nobody streaming, and essentially the way I found best to sort of grow not just my channel but the Minecraft community in general, which was my whole goal at the time, was networking with people of similar size, even if it's 0. And collaborating with them as much as you can to try to build this sense of community between multiple channels. I think for a smaller broadcaster, that's one of the best things you can do is become a community member of somebody else who's of similar size to you, somebody that you kind of jive with, somebody that plays the games you like, that has sort of the personality that would mesh with you very well. And you sort of get to know them and they get to know you. And I will straight up say it is way easier to rise up with other people than it is to do it alone. There's doing it alone is just
Before
so
Minecon,
awful.
I didn't talk to a single broadcaster at all in Minecraft. I guess I did talk to Lyric back then because that's who I was streaming with, but not a single Minecraft streamer because I wanted to make it by myself. That was the biggest mistake to make. I want to make it by myself because then right before Minecon, I realized I'm going to this convention, my first convention. I don't know anyone there, so I went on Twitter and I just spammed every Minecraft streamer hey, I broadcast
you were
Minecraft.
really annoying.
It was. But I went there, I made friends, and when I came back, I tripled my viewers in Minecraft with collaborations and everything. We started Build Guild. It was awesome. It was collaboration is probably the greatest way to grow fast and to really help. Talking to someone, if you could just talk to someone, you can stream with 0 viewers. You don't need a chat because they'll keep you entertained. And when people come in, then integrate into them. So at the very start, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Collab.
I'm really drawn to the first part of your question, which essentially is you're asking, is it too late? Is it too late for someone to start now, get traction, get noticed, and make a career out of this? And my answer to that is solidly no. Like, is everyone going to be able to do that? No. But someone is. Like, there are new people every day on Twitch. Like, okay, for example, just today in the keynote, they announced that there's just over 12,000 partnered streamers now, which is twice as many as there were a year ago, and that's like 12,000. But the point that I want to make is that there's over 1 million people, close to 2 million people, who have casted on Twitch. So out of 2 million people, 12,000 have been partnered, and that's way more complicated than just RNG. It's not just they got a lucky dice roll and suddenly got partnered. The problem is there are literally millions of average streams out there, right? And there is always going to be somebody that can rise above to get noticed, to bring something new to the table, something unique, something that you can't get anywhere else. And when someone does that, it sticks out. Like, and other casters, people like us see that, and we're drawn to it, and we're like, this guy's awesome. And like, I'm constantly going to new streams and looking for new people, and you know, I can think of very specific people just in the last few months where I've been like, this guy is awesome, and then I'll go and I'll talk about him on my stream, and I'm like, have you seen this guy? This is awesome what he's doing. And people that don't get that will look at that happening and be like, well, he's just getting success because he's getting handed it to it. Like, look at all these big casters just showing him, like, he's getting all these raids, and so that's why he's successful. No, he's getting all the raids because there's something different about that guy, and we see it, and we want to promote it and grow it. And so there's the right along with that same point is that I believe that Twitch hasn't yet gone viral in terms of global awareness. Twitch isn't yet a household name, but it's getting close. Like, you saw those graphs in the keynote today, like, it's picking up speed. The peak viewership now is over 2 million in you know, for big events and stuff. That's insane. That rivals traditional television, and it's only a matter of time before it, you know, I can see a day where it explodes, and when that happens, a lot more people are going to get made, a lot more people are going to get noticed, and like, we're still early in this. Twitch has only been a company for how long? Like 4 years? Like, that's nothing in terms of the grand scheme of things. We're very early, and there's lots of time. You just have to be, you know, you have to bring something different and unique for that to happen.
And to address the first part of your question, that worry that you hit your wall, you're not going to succeed anymore, why am I not getting this many viewers, I've been stuck at this forever, that never goes away. And it will just, the numbers just get bigger and bigger, but it's good you have it. It means you care about your channel, and that drives you to experiment, as I said before, and try to find that thing that makes you stand out, or something that makes your channel unique if something is not working.
Great, thanks a lot, guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Gamer Enchantment. I've been streaming for 1.5 years now. I'm kind of slowly building up at 1,300 followers right now, and yeah. And one of the things that was always told to me by some partners, some of the bigger name ones, was that, hey, you're a smaller streamer, have fun, don't pay attention to the numbers. But I know, me being a smaller streamer, I pay attention to the numbers like crazy. I look at my stats, I try to follow everything that's going on, I try to look for what games am I doing good with numbers, what games am I not doing good with numbers. I try to get on the Twitch Reddit and try and get my name out there, try to, you know, find out about stuff on the Reddit. I was even on the Twitch Broadcaster Spotlight back in January, just to try and put my name out there and to, you know, get more attention to my stream. But I also try to have fun when I'm streaming, because what's the point of streaming if you're not having fun? So I guess my question really is where do you, as a smaller streamer, where do you find that balance of having fun but also paying attention to those numbers, so you know that you are on the right path of growth, or hey, I need to step back a second and reevaluate what I'm doing so I can get on that right track?
The advice was partially right. Don't look at your numbers while you're streaming, because when you see that viewer count It can affect how you're able to entertain if you're worrying when you see the number go up and down, when often you don't have a lot of control over that. A streamer could be online that everyone's been drawn to for temporary reasons. Someone comes offline, you get a burst, then it goes away. Don't look at it while you're streaming, but definitely look at everything when you're not streaming to see what's working, what's not, where your boost was. Was this game doing well for you? Should you try a different game? But definitely look at your numbers, just not while you're trying to be entertaining.
The biggest thing is when you look at your numbers, don't just think of Twitch, think a lot bigger than that. What time of the year is it? Is school starting? Is it summer?
Yeah.
Because that will affect your numbers more than just trying a new game at times. Like when school starts, your numbers will sometimes drop down in half. And
Everybody's
yeah,
will, right?
and you have to realize everyone's experiencing this. So if you could look at, like, compare yourself to other streamers, what's going on, is my follows per day going down, but are their follows per day also going down? You kind of have to, like, look at it all in total. Matt is probably the biggest, like, analytics guy on Twitch ever. He, like, wrote his own chatbots to detect other chatbots to write analytic programs. It's ridiculous.
In my mind, the answer to the question, like, how much should you look at numbers? In my view on that is that the answer is as much as you can without it affecting you emotionally, right? Then I've had a lot, this topic comes up a lot amongst broadcasters. Like, I've talked to a lot of streamers about this topic, and it ranges, right? Some people, like CoCarnage, for example, freaking loves studying his numbers, and he gets every metric that he can, and he analyzes it all, and he does it while he's live, and it's a big part of what he does. And then you have other people like Towley, who's just like, I don't want to see it. Like, turn all that off. I don't want to see that when I'm casting, and he's fine. So it varies. There's no one right way, and my advice is that you can learn a lot of very helpful things from all those numbers, but if it starts to stress you and if it starts to affect negatively what you do, then you need to step back. Like, it can be a useful tool, and it can also destroy you. So that's for me the way to judge that.
I have a different spin on it, obviously. Well, first off, you said you had talked to bigger broadcasters, and that's excellent advice, I think, all around. If you're a smaller broadcaster, talk to bigger broadcasters. A lot of, even like really big broadcasters are very receptive and open to giving out information and stuff when they can. Yeah, I really like numbers. And so the thing is, for me, it's look at them to the point where you're not just like obsessing about hitting a certain number. I really, this is bad advice. So this is bad advice section. I like to look at my numbers and then do something that would really piss off chat, and then
do that no
see
matter
if that
what.
number goes up or down. And more often than not, it goes up.
He's not lying either. He totally does that.
Yeah.
You literally insult chat and your numbers go up. I don't understand it.
I feel like for me, it's just I play this experiment game with chat to see sort of where the things go. So for me, the numbers is a mini game, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And
that
you can
that he min-maxes.
Yeah, I min-max from a mini game, and so that's just sort of a thing I do in my head. I just treat the number as a mini game while I'm doing my normal stream. But again, everybody has their own way of doing it. Honestly,
For me, I like looking at the numbers while I'm streaming as a way to judge the crowd, not as a way to judge if I'm being successful or not. But it's like in here, with us talking right here, if I tell a joke and it's funny, you guys laugh. If I tell a joke and it's lame, nothing, right? And you get instant feedback. If all you have is a chat room, it's not only is there a delay, but oftentimes I'll be doing things and not really know if it's working, if it's clicking, if my community's into it or whatever. The numbers are all you have as a caster. So I like seeing all the metrics that I can to see if I'm doing something that's working, then the view count's going to rise. If I'm doing something that's boring, then it's going to dip back down and stuff.
So we're about to play another mini game. We're going to answer every question now with one sentence each.
Nice.
Because we don't have that much time.
God.
Yeah.
So thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
And
it.
also, if you guys end up doing an internship for your company, I'll happily apply.
Next week.
He's going to
Next
stuff the
week.
boxes with the swag for us. Nice.
Hey guys, big fan. My question is, as a company that's innovating, basically what you're doing is a big innovation, you're stepping into realms unknown. I've seen a lot of other companies who do something like this, and what happens is competition rises up where people say, hey, they did that, now that they've done it and it's worked, let's do it too. How do you think you're going to prepare for that competition in the future?
It's
How do
already
you think
out
that's gonna
there.
affect
It's already happening.
We're already competing with people.
I don't see it as
That's two
competition
sentences.
because I've never have seen it as competition, but I'm going to make this a run-on sentence. So, comma. I think it's good that other people are seeing what we're doing. I feel like I knew this was going to happen, and so I wanted to do it perfect. I wanted to make it absolutely right so that when other people try to copy it, at least they don't end up in a cardboard box somewhere, right? I wanted to do it right and show the model of how it can be done so that when other people try to do it, which they will, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that they also have at least a good experience in doing it.
I don't really believe in the concept of competition with what we do because that implies that if we're successful, other people hurt because we got successful, right? Like there's only a finite amount of viewers and somebody else is having less viewers because they're watching us. Like, I don't think of it that way. I think of anytime anyone is successful on Twitch, all of Twitch benefits. And the more successful casters there are, the more Twitch as a whole gains momentum and gets better. And so us being good at what we do raises the bar maybe if we're good. And and I say more of that. I want more people to do what we're doing.
We used up your sentences.
And and the other thing is they don't have a Sevs, so good luck.
No, seriously, that's it.
Thank you.
¿Cómo estás, amigos? Hey guys, my name is Cesar Husa. I am rocking my Green Lantern wear today. I think of a question from my mentor, Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if y'all know that goodness, but Gary Vaynerchuk talks about when you have a very big fish and you're a small fish and you want the big fish to work with you, you talked about creating a bubble, and this is kind of the same realm. And you also talked about asking or having something that's really different or interesting, and that's why you find us smaller fishes entertaining enough to be promoted. My question to you is, and it's a question that I ask my fellow streamers, the people that I work with, and of course my viewers, I ask them, I know I'm running time right now. The question was, what can the small person do that the big person wants? That's what Gary always talks about. He says, if you want somebody big to come at you and come work with you, you want McDonald's to come be your corporation sponsor, you have to give them something. You have to also be a benefit for them. If you guys were to, in your example, you talked about finding somebody that was unique and different. If you introduce the world to them, you get credit for them being awesome. And you're like, that person was cool, right, guys? We're all cool together. Let's be cool together. And you're a part of that bubble right there. So my question to you guys is kind of that realm. What would you find that you want?
Make me laugh.
Well, I got that in space.
Yeah, no, when I go to a stream and it's
In my
funny,
brain.
I totally fall in love with it because it's something that doesn't happen very often. It's like when you find your favorite show or your favorite movie. It's something you kind of connect with quickly, and humor is what I connect with on Twitch. So if your stream makes me laugh in like a good way, not like laughing at you, then yeah. Well, I mean, not that I
got you.
If you're an entertaining channel, people will find you. And when people find you, eventually a big person will find you. And I always say, don't ask other channels for help. Be the channel people want to help. So make your channel as entertaining as you possibly can. And eventually, someone will find you.
That was one sentence.
Was it?
Nailed it.
Right? We're going to say yes. It was one sentence.
Thank you.
Oh,
Anything-
you want a sentence from us?
Oh,
I do. I really do. I want small sentences. I'll do.
I'm immediately attracted to things that I've never seen before. You know, when I see something new, different, like Futureman Gaming, for example. Shout outs to FMG. Nice moves. Anyone out there? Yeah, but I'd never seen anything like that on Twitch, and I'm like, this guy's amazing. You know, and I talk about him all the time now. So that's a perfect example. I like to see new stuff that pushes the envelope, that makes us think of new things.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's very similar. I want to see somebody who's having fun, not somebody who's just like, even with 0 viewers, they can still have fun. And as long as you're having fun playing the video games, I'm generally attracted to the channel.
Yeah.
All right. GG. Thank you, guys.
Hey, first of all, you guys are awesome. Second of all, Sevs. Were there any streamers that you approached with the idea of Nerd Fusion who heard the pitch and turned you down? And then
Thousands.
When Nerd Fusion becomes this huge thing, how much are you going to rub it in their faces?
No, I ran the idea like way back in the day through some people who were friends of mine, who are broadcasters. I didn't ask any. This was back before I was even asking people. I mean, I talked to great casters like Morag and other just amazing casters about like what. This is back before, when I was just trying to think of what the hell was this.
Who's right back there, by the way?
Oh, is he?
Scott's right there.
I can't see with these lights. Oh, there he is. Yeah. So yeah, actually, nobody turned it down, which was good. And yeah, I asked 4 people, and 4 people said yes. I was very selective, and the pitch was really long. I probably talked for an hour before I let them say anything.
You were lucky I was drunk.
What? It was like a 4-hour conversation when I talked to him about it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's good.
Yeah. All right, we're out of time.
We have 1 more minute. All right, last question.
So how would smaller streamers deal with game saturation? With bigger titles and, say, either League of Legends or Dota or anything like that, how would a smaller streamer deal with that saturation if that's
Make
a
it
game
unique.
they love?
That's the biggest thing. There's so many people out there, you got to be unique.
You can't just copy paste. You can't. If somebody else is doing it that's above you, people are going to watch that and not you.
One very effective tactic I used to use is viewer hopping. Play a new release and then hope that when the big streamer goes offline, that they funnel down to you. So try to find a streamer who goes offline just before you go online, so you're the next in line or on the front page. It's a great way to get more people to come to you. As we said earlier, new releases draw lots of new people to your channel. It's a great chance to get more people.
All right, the rest of you, we will probably be out here somewhere during the next 5 hours.
We'll hang out over here.
Second panel.
But,
Do that.
I'm sorry, but they're yelling at us.
we're out
Like
of time.
he's literally yelling. No, he's not.
Give me one question. It's important for everybody in the room.
Okay, what is it? Quick.
All right, thank you. What are the streams of revenue that are important to make this a paycheck? We need commercial revenue, sub, donations. You guys include Patreon.
All of them. We
What
look for as many as we can
All of
possibly
the above.
find.
What are they?
Diversify.
Other than that.
Diversify.
I will talk.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.